problem that I have, I think the police did what they were supposed to do. They came in, they came through the door, they arrested him, he's bonded out since. The problem that I have is that there's this thing that we're dealing with right now that's called mental issues.
There's this rumor of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul. If you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen.
You know, it already happened. You knew it happened, and you made the fight anyway. But now, based on something you already knew happened, now you're just saying, oh, no, because this happened, we're not going to do the fight. But you knew already in the first place.
Yes, the history was already there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And for this particular situation, by the way, mind you, the girl now is coming with a civil suit.
Yes.
She probably saw that he signed the Jake Paul fight.
Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back for a single second when addressing the shocking news of Gervonta "Tank" Davis getting arrested, and the legendary NFL Hall of Famer used his platform to speak louder than ever about accountability, responsibility, and the spotlight that comes with superstardom.
Is the abuser, you lose a sense of protection of what you think a protector should do, because nah, you're supposed to protect me from this. If someone is trying to do this to me, you're supposed to jump in and be my superhero. You're not supposed to commit.
The moment the story broke, Shannon's reaction was swift, raw, and straight to the point. He emphasized that while Tank is undeniably one of the most electrifying fighters in the sport, his talent alone cannot shield him from the consequences of repeated off-ring issues that keep resurfacing at the worst possible time.
Davis, we had to go right to the source. What can you tell us? Is there any possibility that Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul?
No, there's no such of thing happening. Basically, like how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, I mean, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist, but come on, like the weight different and everything, it make no sense. You know, the Gervonta Davis, you count, you say, okay, the size different can level up. But at this point, for me to...
Sharpe pointed out that the world of combat sports is unforgiving when athletes allow distractions to poison their careers, and even more unforgiving when those distractions involve legal trouble.
And say, yeah, Jake Paul, you know, he's fighting. And I'm like, no, bro, come on. Don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like, they even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He send out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started talk. I would have tell you, I'm not just interested. It make no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at right now.
So there is no dollar amount. It's more the opponent. The fight makes no sense. They could offer you $100 million and you wouldn't be interested.
The fight made no sense. That's what I think. That's my my position. And though I went back.
He noted that fans, promoters, networks, and sponsors all invest time, money, and belief in fighters like Gervonta, expecting them not only to perform but to carry themselves like champions outside the ring as well.
They're going, then it kind of dissuades what I thought may happen, which was this rumor of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul. If you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen, and they're going to either have to move the fight back or they're going to have to look to a replacement or both. I don't know. And the rumor was one of the replacements was talked about and even offered to Ryan Garcia. Well, here is Ryan Garcia's promoter, Oscar de la Hoya, speaking on that rumor and what's next for Ryan.
It's happy Saturday, so I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not gonna happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to go on a rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with the Zone. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next. See you guys.
It always seems like when Oscar decides to address something with Ryan Garcia, that he's not only addressing us, the people, that he's addressing Ryan Garcia. He's like, through us, telling Ryan, no, you're not fighting Jake Paul, no matter how much you want to fight. That's what it seems like, is like, no matter how much you want to fight Jake Paul, you're not fighting. I don't even think that was meant for us. I think that was him telling Ryan. And you can hear it there. He's like, oh, Ryan's going to say, I'm keeping him from making money or whatever. But in this case, Oscar is right. If Ryan is signed to Golden Boy and Golden Boy is exclusively signed to DAZN for, fight rights, then Ryan has to fight on DAZN. I think that's pretty reasonable for Oscar. I didn't know that Golden Boy was exclusive to DAZN. I didn't know that was a thing. But if that is the thing.
Shannon argued that Tank's arrest wasn't just another headline. It was a signal flare highlighting a pattern he's warned about before. When young stars with incredible potential get caught up in personal chaos, their legacies become vulnerable, and sometimes their entire careers get derailed before they realize what they've lost.
Aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Lawsuit comes 2 months after Davis's previous domestic violence case was dropped by a different ex-girlfriend and the mother of 2 of the boxer's 3 children. I just think MVP is in the business of being the home of women, right? At this point, like, that's a huge part of their identity. What is their identity? It's Jake Paul and women's boxing. That's their identity right now. And they've done a phenomenal job for the women. And so how, with these allegations lingering and now coming to light 2 weeks before, how can you go through with it? And it sounds like they feel the same way. It's an impossible spot to be in.
The only part I'd say is, like, you kind of know who this guy is ahead of time. Like, this is not exactly a shocking revelation. Like, Tank Davis is, this is not the first rodeo. But I do think it's too close to the fight to really be, messing around here. Like, you got to figure out a new solution.
And so there's been multiple reports regarding people that they've reached out to. Names like Ryan Garcia have been brought up. Terrence Crawford has been brought up. Francis Ngannou has been brought up. And Francis Ngannou spoke to TMZ today, and he did confirm that he was contacted. And the quote was, "How can they go from Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? It makes no sense." He was like, quote, "We think about you to fight Jake." I'm like, what? Which Jake? Bro, come on, don't disrespect me like that.
What the fuck is that?
That might have been the most timely "what the F is that" of all time. What do you guys think about that stance from Francis? Because actually, there's a part of me that thinks, take the fight, you knock him out, you'll be like 65 pounds bigger than him, and it's a nice little feather in your cap.
I think that was a great backup solution. I think Francis versus Jake is a great fight.
If it goes all
Compelling,
according to
too.
plan, like he should theoretically get paid a bunch of money, knock out Jake Paul, and make off like a bandit. There is always the world where it goes awry. If he were to drop the fight to Jake Paul, that would
Right,
be
but I mean, you
tough.
could literally say that about any fight. Are you just saying that the risk is greater than the reward?
I don't think so.
In my eyes, losing to Jake Paul is worth.
Sharpe stressed that Tank should be in the gym perfecting his craft, preparing for mega events like the anticipated showdown with Jake Paul or whoever steps up next, not sitting in a jail cell wondering how things spiraled.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in, I want to say...
He expressed frustration, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of disappointment, because he truly believes Tank could be the face of modern boxing if he learns how to separate his personal life from his professional path. Shannon's criticism was echoed by many fans who agree that while Tank's fighting skills are unquestioned, the constant offering problems threaten to overshadow everything he's built, and Sharpe insisted that now is the moment Tank must wake up and take full control of his future.
I want to let everybody know I'm going to slap Jake Paul across his face because, first and foremost, man, I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff, man. I really am. I am more tired of this YouTube boxing stuff than everyone else, man. Oh, let's make this happen, bro. I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. I will slap Jake Paul across his face. But who cares? I don't care. Roll over Jake Paul 2025, bro. I knocked out another YouTuber. I knocked out Jake Paul.
He warned that boxing is a harsh business. If a fighter becomes unreliable, promoters will move on, networks will move on, and the public will move on, no matter how many highlight reel knockouts they've delivered. Shannon also brought up how fighters like Floyd Mayweather built their empires not just on talent but on discipline, consistency, and understanding the business side of the sport, and he questioned whether Tank is willing to make those same sacrifices.
If I thought he did it twice, and we forgave him for that, and you got better, you seek help, and etc., I can, you know what I mean, forgive him for it.
Bruh.
How you know Jake Paul didn't know that?
Jake Paul knew.
Jake Paul 100% knew.
September 19th, 2017, arrest warrant, first degree assault. September 14th, 2018, arrested in Washington, D.C. February 1st, 2020, Davis arrested on domestic assault. March 22nd, 2021, indicted on 14 counts allegedly causing a serious crash. December 27th, 2022, days before a fight, arrested and jailed in Florida, domestic battery. July 11th, 25, taken into custody following a battery charge. October 31st, 25, Davis was involved in a civil fight with his girlfriend. Shut up, Jake Paul. You knew what you was doing.
He does not get this excuse whatsoever. Also, whenever you look at what Jake Paul has done since coming into the sport of boxing, he has been a champion for women in the sport. He has also been a champion of equal fighter pay and whatnot, right? All of these different things that he's done. He's gone to Dana White directly for trying to abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that helps out fighters get. You know, he's gone to so many different people. He's an extremely knowledgeable person whenever it comes to the sport that he's hyper obsessed with, and turned his career from a Disney star and a YouTuber into a boxer. He knew about these issues already. Correct. He knew that this was a farcical fight in the first place. Yeah. This is a 7-weight class difference in real boxing. No, absolutely not. It should not have been a fight that was happening in the first place. But even then, after all of these things going on right now, Jake Paul to sit there and act as if you are all high and mighty, correct, and that I don't want to give this dude a platform to earn money. You were more than happy doing it.
He made it clear that the spotlight is a privilege, not a protective shield, and the brighter that spotlight gets, the more every mistake becomes magnified. Sharpe also pushed back on people who tried to defend Tank blindly, saying that enabling behavior helps no one and that real fans should want the best for Davis, even if that means holding him accountable.
I don't know. It's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. He had already had this history. He's trying to be better. And this is something that had already happened in the past, right? I mean, this was already known when they signed.
Yeah, he wasn't arrested.
He did this prior to this being signed. So you already knew this happened. It was regurgitated as a civil suit, but it was already something that everybody knew had happened in the past. So it's not like something new happened after he signed the fight. So that's what I don't understand, and that's why I don't want to see that. You know, I don't want to see that the kids still lose out on it that way for that reason. Because I don't know, to me it doesn't add up. You know, it already happened. You knew it happened, and you made the fight anyway. So now, based on something you already knew happened, now you're just saying, oh no, because this happened, we're not going to do the fight. But you knew already in the first place.
Yeah, the history was already there.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
And for this particular situation, by the way, mind you, the girl now is coming with a civil suit. Yes, she probably saw that he signed.
According to Shannon, Tank must surround himself with people who want to elevate him, not those who encourage recklessness or profit off his chaos. He also mentioned that younger fighters look up to Tank as an example of what's possible in the sport, and moments like this send a dangerous message unless Tank steps up, admits his mistakes, and shows real growth going forward. Sharpe acknowledged that everyone makes mistakes, especially under pressure, but insisted that repeated mistakes become choices, and choices define who you become as an athlete and as a man. He urged Gervonta to take this arrest as a turning point, a moment to reflect, reset, and rebuild before things reach a point of no return. Sharpe's words resonated because they came from someone who has seen countless athletes, from the NFL to boxing to MMA, rise to greatness only to self-destruct when fame and discipline collide. He doesn't want Tank to be the next tragic example, he wants him to be the superstar he's capable of becoming. Shannon even pointed out that the boxing world is hotter than ever, with massive cross-promotion events, influencer fighter clashes, and superstar matchups drawing mainstream audiences, which means Tank is in a unique position to secure generational wealth and legacy if he simply locks in and stops allowing outside drama to interfere. He reminded viewers that fans don't just watch fighters because of skill, they invest emotionally in their stories, their journeys, their struggles, and their redemption arcs. Tank still has the chance to create one of the greatest comeback stories of this era, but the first step is acknowledging the damage done and taking control before the narrative is written for him. Sharpe closed his message by warning that time is short in combat sports. One injury, one bad decision, or one missed opportunity can change everything overnight. Gervonta is still young, still dangerous, and still gifted, but gifts don't last forever, and the world won't wait for him to figure things out. Shannon Sharpe's final warning was simple: Tank, you've got everything a young fighter dreams of. Don't throw it away. Get your life right, get your circle right, and get back to being the Tank the boxing world fell in love with.